My name is Shadrack Kiplang'at, and today I'm going to talk about global warming. I chose to speak about this topic because it has become a very serious problem. The purpose of my speech today is to persuade you and to convince you that indeed global warming is a real problem and we should do something about it. First, we're going to discuss what is global warming. We're going to see the evidence that the global warming indeed exists. And then we're going to see the effects of the global warming. And later, we are going to see what are the possible solutions to this problem of global warming. Now, you may ask me, what is this global warming that you're talking about? Global warming refers to the climate change that causes an increase in the average temperature of the lower atmosphere. There are different causes, but the main cause, it has been interference by human activities. These interferences, for example, are like burning of the fossil fuels. The burning of the fossil fuels causes the release of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And when it accumulates there, it prevents the heat from escaping and thus making our planet to be warmer. Now, there are evidence that indeed global warming is there. There is evidence, and the scientists have been able to collect data. With the orbiting satellites and the advancement in the technological advances, scientists have been able to collect data globally, and it has shown a consistency with the increase of the temperature. Based on the comprehensive data from multiple sources, the State of the Climate Report of 2009 defines 10 measurable planetoid features used to gauge global temperature changes. And the relative movement of each of these indicators proves consistent with the warming world. 7 indicators are rising: air temperature, sea surface temperature, air temperature over the oceans, sea level, ocean heat, humidity, and tropospheric temperature in the layer of the atmosphere which is closest to the Earth's surface. 3 indicators are declining: Arctic sea ice, glaciers, and a spring snow cover in the northern hemisphere. Now that we have seen what is global warming, and we have also seen the evidence that the global warming is indeed a reality and it is there, we are now going to discuss about the effects of this global warming. All of us have been watching the news. We have watched many documentaries, and we have seen drought in devastating measures in different parts of this planet, and particularly in Africa. Global warming has caused severe droughts in some parts of Africa and the other parts of the planet. This has resulted in deaths of both humans and animals, and that is a very bad problem. Another thing, global warming has resulted in melting of glaciers and sea ice, shifting the precipitation patterns and setting animals on the move. With the melting of these glaciers and sea ice, it has led to the increase in the level of the water bodies, increased water bodies levels. This one has caused many problems, like the displacement of animals and the displacement of human settlements. Now that we have seen all of this, and we have seen that indeed global warming is a serious problem, we must look for a solution. First, as an individual and as a community. We're going to discuss about the possible solutions to the global warming. The question that we should ask ourselves is, how can we, as individuals, and as a community, and as a world, help to save our planet? The answer is simpler than we may think. One doesn't have to go from home to home and protesting or spend masses of money. If we try to follow some few steps, we will have started to make this world a better place. I'm going to begin discussing about the possible solutions with this one: planting trees. Firstly, the trees, when they are fully grown, they help to keep our planet cooler. They also prevent erosion. They help in checking environmental pollution like air pollution, soil pollution. They give us oxygen to breathe, and they absorb the carbon dioxide. Trees are of tremendous value to us, and we cannot underestimate the importance of trees in this way of trying to reduce the global temperatures. Another possible solution is walking and cycling as an alternative to driving. Walking is not only of benefit for our health, but it can also play an important role to improve the quality of the life, because it helps protect and improve the living environment and natural resources. Walking instead of cycling will help in reducing the level of the emissions of the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, because it will reduce the use of fuel. And fuel, as we saw earlier, the burning of fossil fuels is the one that leads to the release of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Vehicles contribute greatly to pollution by emitting substances that are harmful to our environment. Another possible solution is we should try warming ourselves, using alternative ways of warming ourselves. We should try not to use not to turn the heaters whenever it is cold. We can try and warm ourselves by clothing heavily and taking hot drinks. If we live in a structure, this means that we make sure that we seal all the openings to prevent air leaks, and check the air leaks around any door and seal windows. Another possible solution is obtaining goods from local suppliers. If we obtain goods from local suppliers, we discourage importation of goods. And by discouraging this importation, there will be reduction in the emissions to the atmosphere by the planes, by the ships, and by the transportation means that are used to transport those goods. That will lead to the reduction of the emission of the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Another possible solution is to control the usage of fuel. How can we control the usage of fuel? First, we keep up to the speed limit. Keeping to the speed limit, the more you speed, the more the petrol you are going to use. And also, we can choose to use the energy efficient vehicles that uses low amount of fuel. This helps in reducing the level of pollution into the atmosphere. We can also use the zero emission vehicles that include the battery electric vehicles, plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, and hydrogen fuel sell electric vehicles. These technologies can be used in passenger cars, trucks, and transit buses. Proper maintenance of our car and trucks can also control emissions. And our vehicles, if we properly maintain it, it will function properly, and it will reduce the emission of harmful gases into the atmosphere. We can also take care in storing and handling of solvents, gasoline and solvents, to reduce evaporation of these gasoline and solvents. Another possible solution is using the solar energy as an alternative to fuel. Use of solar energy will contribute to minimize the pollution. After all, it is free. And unlike the traditional energy sources, solar doesn't rely on fuel to generate electricity. This eliminates the problem of emissions. More so, solar energy is renewable and sustainable. So we can employ this idea of using solar energy to control the pollution. Now, to conclude, there is indeed reasons to conserve our environment by ensuring minimum emissions of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Each individual should take responsibility in ensuring that our atmosphere is free of gases which may lead to global warming. We should all ensure that this planet is a better place to live for us in this generation, and to the next generation, and to the generations that are still ahead of us. Thank you very much.